So we just hit our 1-year mark here in San Cristobal de las Casas, Mexico. So in this video, we're gonna talk about the reasons why I need to stay here in San Cris a little bit longer. Okay, but just in case you're new here, hi, I'm Anne. I'm a single mom of Alex. And we have been full-time traveling for over 3 years now. We've been in Mexico for most of that time. I spent the first 1.5 years in Merida, and I've been here in San Cris for a year already, and I'm thinking it'll probably be another entire year before I even consider leaving this place. Why? San Cristobal, being a pueblo mágico, of course, invites a lot of tourists, invites a lot of wealth into the city and into the Chiapas in general. Now, with this mix of wealth and poverty always comes, unfortunately, corruption. People who want to control that wealth, people who want to control the influx. We could even perhaps argue that the exact purpose of a pueblo mágico is in fact to invite that wealth and therefore possibly to invite that corruption into various parts of Mexico that are underserved, especially from a tourist perspective. To name a city a pueblo mágico is Mexico's purposeful decision to draw in tourists, and San Cris is considered one of, if not the most magical of all the pueblo mágicos in Mexico, which is both fortunate and unfortunate since the Chiapas happens to be the poorest state in the entire country. And to make matters much more unique, the Chiapas in particular, the municipalities, the cities in this state are administratively autonomous to the state and the federal government. I mean, they can kind of do whatever they want, which is cool. But with that power to change whatever you want in your own city comes a lot of flexibility, change, unrest, and potential for good and bad. The only rule that seems to be kind of imposed on these different municipalities is they must each have a municipal president. We would probably think of it as a mayor, and there just seems to be a lot of conflict around who gets chosen to be this mayor, this municipal president. I feel like for people who are like pro-anarchy, coming to the Chiapas and studying how the different cities, the different villages of the Chiapas handles it will probably be very interesting to you. Chiapas, in its way, kind of demonstrates how that works. Maybe not in a perfect sense, but I mean, anarchy is never gonna be perfect. And so while San Cris is definitely generally a very safe place to visit, it's a very safe place to live in, destructive demonstrations of power is one of the methods that the locals seem to use to show how they feel about a particular topic. Now, there are also definitely peaceful demonstrations here, so I don't want to imply that it's always destructive.
Nuestro país se ha visto envuelto en una serie de acontecimientos.
But yeah, there have been a handful of the scarier demonstrations here, as well as the surrounding areas, which includes things like blockades and such. Which is one of the reasons why I've yet to visit Palenque, because that road, for some reason, seems to often be one of the more conflicted paths. Again, normally super safe, but I really just have no way to predict when an uprising might be happening. So yeah, luckily, I'm very satisfied just being here in this city. And even though these moments of crazy definitely happen here, being a civilized, calm person is the norm here. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask, stay in Centro, don't stay in Centro, just be you. My day-to-day is very chill, very boring here, and yeah, I'm for it. I love living amongst the locals and just slowly taking life in. I am not in a rush to figure it all out. The people, the locals always determine whether a city is worth staying at or not, and San Cris is filled with such a diverse population that it just takes a while to get to know. I mean, even if you strip away the wide variety of expats and international immigrants, in addition to the people born and raised here in San Cris, you've got a huge population actually of people coming from other parts of Mexico and coming to San Cris to figure out what's going on here, as well as the various villages nearby that also come. I find it super unique that here in San Cris, there's so many people that don't even speak Spanish, and I'm not talking about the visitors, I'm talking about locals, people who are born and raised in the Chiapas, who speak maybe transactional Spanish, which works perfectly for me because that's definitely my specialty. That additional layer of language barrier honestly makes learning about the locals that much slower and that much more mysterious. So far, the people I've met have been pretty extraordinary. There's a lady selling honey here in San Cris that's supposedly from the jungles of Chiapas.
So it's unpasteurized raw honey. You'll smell it. It smells super strong, and it's just starting to crystallize.
The amazing weather. It's super walkable here. I love seeing these gorgeous mountains behind me. I love the crispness of the air. It is July and it is a crisp morning. I'm wearing short sleeves because I kind of always wear short sleeves, but I love this crisp air. I love the freshness of it. I feel healthy being able to just walk this town and do the things. The affordability. San Cristobal is the poorest state in the country, which means throughout Mexico, it's definitely one of the more affordable, even with inflation hitting San Cristobal as it has the rest of Mexico. With my very limited budget, that would certainly not go far in the US, I can still have a very middle-class life here. The affordability is huge. And this is probably not a huge plus for everybody, but San Cristobal has a limited number of things to do. I know we're not supposed to talk about that, but at the end of the day, it's a small town. There's not as much things to do here, especially when compared to, let's say, Merida or Mexico City. As an introvert, this is a huge plus for me. And I feel like San Cristobal being very pro individuals, we tend to attract a decent amount of introverts. So my friends here definitely let me live my very introverted and simple life. And something you might not fully realize about Alex is while he's always up for an adventure, at the end of the day, he's not a traveler. He likes having a home base. He likes being in the same place. We've recently enrolled Alex in school. We're very excited for the coming year. This is not an international school. It is not a bilingual school. Alex will have to learn Spanish to figure things out. I'm not expecting the best grades this first year. Luckily, those things aren't really important to me. And while in the US, kind of the idea of being stuck in one place because Alex didn't necessarily care to move was depressing. Here in San Cristobal, here in Mexico, there's just so much for me to learn, so much for me to constantly observe and figure out that I'm not gonna get bored of this place anytime soon. I've started to make commitments of my own. I started volunteering being the English native speaker representative at a local English school, and it's really been fun getting to know the students as well as the teacher. I love the routines that I have here. We've got the internet that I need. I will not say it's the best internet in the world, that would be a falsehood, but especially at home, I have all the internet that I need. And so, yeah, we've got, for me, the perfect blend of simple living and conveniences. This town is definitely my style. And so for all those reasons and so much more, welcome to my new home, San Cristobal.